Welcome to One Brooklyn, presented by Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. On this edition of One Brooklyn, Brooklyn Borough President Adams takes part in the Department of Education's Mindfulness and Yoga Teaching Preparation Program and Graduation Ceremony. Through a grant made by Brooklyn Borough President Adams, DOE staffers went through training to start implementing yoga and mindfulness training in Brooklyn schools. A curriculum taught to mindfulness ambassadors, if you will, who will bring it to the Brooklyn schools and students. Borough President Adams and School Chancellor Carranza believe that helping young kids learn mindfulness training and yoga is a way to decrease negative student behaviors and also increase student achievements and learning. Borough President Adams took part in the DOE's graduation ceremony at 131 Livingston Street.
None of this would have happened without Borough President Eric. Everybody's going to say a few words, and then Borough President.
So, first of all, congratulations, graduates.
Thank you.
I'm a behind-the-scenes person, you know. But when I was a principal in Brownsville, I understand the trauma that our children come to school with. And oftentimes, adults forget about their own trauma that they bring to the table. So, it was literally only like almost 7 or 8 years ago, I brought mindfulness and yoga to PS 156. And I had the support of Dr. Diego Vaya as my superintendent to understand that we have to heal and help our children deal with the trauma that they're facing. But it wasn't the children that made me bring it to the school. It was the adults, because they were screaming at the top of their lungs for minuscule things. And I had to figure out how to help them help our kids. And we fast forward 4 years into my positioning that from one school, now we can touch, I don't know, is it 1,600 or 1,800? I don't know how many schools we have at this moment, but 1,600 schools, right? That we can go in and help adults to help children. Breathing towards a healed city is real. And the first part of that is owning that there's a healing that needs to occur. So I personally want to thank Dr. Lamb and Central. I want to thank this program and Karen, and of course Lori, and at the time it was Bernadette, right? Who believed in Steve and I's vision and gave us the courage to go to this young man right here, right? To say, we need your help. And more importantly, he stepped up because he too wants to breathe towards the healing city. So Borough President Adams, I thank you with all my heart that you care enough about not just the kids, but the adults standing in front of the kids. That everyone who's in that space will work towards the accomplishment of the children, to regulate themselves and to understand they can be kids, they can breathe, and they can bend and move however they want to make them feel good. So I thank you again for your support. We're going to go forth with cohort 1. I'm putting it in the air. It's going to happen. Because we have a lot more children to touch and a lot more adults to touch. And now I'm going to turn it over to Borough President.
My team that's here, Janika, Jonah, and the guy with the camera running around here harassing me. This is good stuff. And, I just have two amazing partners in the borough. I call on them all the time, Barbara and Karen. They're just on speed dial, and we just really gel. And they're about the children, and they feel it. And, when you come from a dark place and you find light. And, there's been some dark moments, and that it was out of the light. And this is all born out of those dark moments. You think sometimes that you are buried when you're planted. And we have to start moving to do this the right way. And, these children are hurting. And their families are hurting. And as I dig into this more and more, we just got this so wrong. It's blowing my mind how wrong we are about the development of the human experience. And, it just starts in that mother's womb. And if we don't start refocusing our energy into that mother's womb to make sure she has the nutrition, make sure she has the peace of mind, the trauma that she's passing on to her child, and that trauma continues to just go on for years. We become a mill that produces broken children that turn into broken adults. And no one wants to go to the core of it. But I'm not going to live on the surface. I'm going to go into the core, and we're going to roll out some things in the next 2 years that's going to change the conversation about producing healthy individuals. It's not only academic, it's emotional. And these children, the first classroom is inside that womb. And if that womb is not right, when that baby is born, I don't care how much money you put into it. I don't care how many programs you have in the DOE. I don't care how much we try to support. It's broken. It's broken. And we have to go to the core. We have to empower our doulas. We have to make sure we have lactation room that I saw here. We have to make sure that we show mothers healthy eaters, the importance of iron and folic acid, the importance of meditation, of rebridging their relationships with their spouses. We have to show men the power of supporting their wives during our pregnancy. There's so much that goes into it. We're off track. And we have to get back on track. And we need to speak with our legislators. They need to understand how important it is to have this. It's not just about those test scores. Those test scores are the wrong indicators. It's about how do we produce healthy, balanced young people that turns out to be healthy, balanced adults. And that's what you're doing here. You're the beginning. We're going to look back over this, and we're going to say to ourselves that we didn't realize we were supposed to do this. This is like you are the beginning of this conversation, and each one of you are going to go into small towns all over this entire country, even Ohio and Iowa. You're going to go into small towns, and you're going to start changing how we think about education. So this is a powerful moment. This is not an insignificant moment taking place on the stage of educational process and thinking and philosophy. This is a new thinking model, and you have to be just commended for realizing that it's about repairing children's and families. And this is a very exciting moment for me, and it's only the beginning, and we will be funding your next round of doing this. We're going to continue to be here as long as I'm involved. To do this. It's mandatory that this is done, and if I'm in City Hall or someone else, we need to make sure that our children start their day with the healing. You can't learn multiplication and division when you're divided. We need to start healing them. We need to start allowing them that moment of healing. And this is you should be commended on what you are doing. And all of you who are a part of the different faces that I've interacted with, I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. And I want to continue to be a part of this. Let's make sure.
Oh, I can't do that.
Bev, I love how you're like, I'm just holding a pocket.
Awesome. Awesome. We're talking
2, 3.